So to keep this simple, I'm going to say that the bases are conforming. And yeah, for every figure, we're rolling D12 here and consulting this cool handy dandy table. So I'm going to roll 3D12 for the medium horse versus the enemy light foot. So if we look at the attacker, which is medium horse, versus defender light foot, needs a 3 or better to kill. That's pretty easy. Let's see what happens here. So we got kill, kill, kill. So 3 kills from the, I should zoom out. I'm still zoomed in. But anyway, 3 kills from the medium horseman. And now I'm going to re-roll for the 2, what do you call it, heavy horse. And in this case, heavy horse versus Lightfoot is going to be a 2. So we'll just roll 2 of these dice again. Oh, and we rolled a 1. We rolled a 1. So 3 kills plus 1 kill is 4 kills. And then we'll fill in for the defender. Okay, so I did set aside these 4 kills so that I will remember to do the instability roll. I don't think it's going to matter here in a second. But we've got 1, 2 plus the faction leader. So 1, 2 are the only ones that count against medium horse. So Lightfoot versus medium horse. So Lightfoot is the attacker, medium horse is the defender. They need an 11 or 12 to kill. So let's see what we get here. Where's my dice? No kills. And then I've wrapped around these spearmen. Again, this is Lightfoot versus heavy horse. So in contact, 1, 2, I'm going to call it 3, 4 because they're spearmen. So I'm going to give them 4 dice versus heavy horse. And in this case, Lightfoot versus heavy horse requires a 12. Oh, plus their peasantry. They're supposed to subtract 1. Plus they were fighting uphill. Oh yeah. So basically, this is an interesting situation where I guess I should say 12 will always hit, because otherwise these peasants would not be able to do anything when they're coming up the hill or when they're up against heavy horse, which maybe that's a good thing. But I'm going to say on 12s, so I'm going to roll 4 dice and see if they get a kill. 1, 2, 3. I've only got 3 dice. Where's my 4th one? Here it is. And we got 112. We got a 1, and we got 112. So I am going to take away 1 of the enemy heavy horse. Probably not the fairest thing, but I just want to keep the game rolling here. Okay, so they've already moved now to do their fill-in. That was the counter blows in melee. After the first blows are struck, fill in any gaps, make counter blows, take free move to reposition any troops. I suppose you could read that to say repositioning takes place after blows and counter blows. Faction leader cannot be killed unless 4 blows land upon him in the same turn. Oh, I do have a rule for the faction leader. Okay, good, good. I do need to put in a rule about... That'd be the same thing for archery, I suppose. Yeah, or artillery. Maybe I'll let him be killed by artillery if he takes 4 blows. Well, that would have ended the whole shooting match pretty quickly, wouldn't it? I love the artwork here. 2 conditions that require a morale check. So we're in the admin phase now. Morale check, 2 conditions. Half faction's men have been killed. So I'd say these remaining swordsmen on the peasant side have easily been reduced in half again. And they needed to roll, what was it? 4 or below would fail on a d6. So they need to roll 5 or 6 to stay in it. They roll a 4, and that is it for those guys. If there is a failure, shaken troops immediately roll 1d6 again. 2. What's the result here? On a 2 for these shaken troops, it's going to be rout. Troops make a full move toward each of the next 2 turns directly toward their baseline. So they're routing for 2 turns. And the horse, I forgot, heavy horse, half of them are gone now. Vikings says 3 or below fails, but I've got a contradictory rule here when they're berserk. Let me check this out here. Spearmen or swordsmen go berserk once in melee. That was a horseman, not a footman. So, yeah, I need to roll. Let's use the same dice. I like this dice. 5. Vikings do not fail their morale check. Prisoners. So there's a 1 in 6 chance for each of those 4 blocks that was removed on the one side and the 1 block on the other side. So first let's see if that horseman was taken prisoner from the Vikings. It was not. Let's roll now for the 4 swordsmen who allegedly died up there. No prisoners. So keeping it simple. Okay, I'm keeping it a little loosey-goosey here on turn 4. These bowmen now see a chance to shoot at the medium horse up here because they're technically no longer in melee because this unit has disengaged. They've split in half. I'm allowing the peasants to split in half. Half their unit is facing off against this single horseman, and the other half have turned to attack these bowmen. This guy stayed kind of loosey-goosey as well because he saw what might be happening, so he'll get pulled in the melee to do some counter blows, so not a huge deal here. But yeah, let's see what happens because bowfire comes before, and I'm very curious how this bowfire is going to work out. So let me turn to the bowfire rules. Archers and bowmen are longbowmen. Archers are bowmen and longbowmen. These guys are longbows. They're well within range. They're within the arc of fire, right? Because archers can fire anywhere to the front of their figure, which means 180, right? They get this whole field of view out here. Here we go. For every 3 figures firing, roll 1d6. So this is for firing, and this is to determine what happens. So for every 3 figures firing, roll 1d6. And this is definitely an armored target, so 6 is what's required to hit. Single figures may fire, but roll 2 dice and take the lowest. That's not going to be the case here. All right, so how many do we have here? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 in the front rank, and only the front rank may fire. So 9 divided by 3 is 3 6-siders. And I need a 6. And we got no 6s. So we're moving on to melee. All right, so melee with the heavy horse versus the remaining swordsman. No, this was versus the spearman. Yeah, spearman. No result. So the horseman did hit, so he killed one of the spearmen. The spearman did nothing to the horseman. Situation over here with the heavy horse. The peasants failed to do anything to the heavy horseman. They lost a figure. This figure was not taken prisoner, so he's off the table. And then what happened over here was that the spearmen did nothing to these armored bowmen. It's really hard for a lightfoot, especially a peasant lightfoot, to hit an armored figure. So that was ineffective. And then the armored spearmen moved up on the flank. They made their attacks, and the upshot was the 4 dice rolled here for all these armored figures. 3 kills, none of which were taken prisoner. Now that's going to force a instability check, which I'm going to do here in just a second. So let's see, what's the instability? I'm going to just roll. I think I need the 5 or 6 for that unit to stay. That's right. So 4, he is out of here now, and those 3 figures must be routed off the table for 2 turns as well, starting next turn.